Hello everyone and welcome to WOR Tier 10 this evening, of course on the Xbox division. I hate when this happens and I get kicked out of the lobby because I start streaming. But anyway, let's quickly try join back. Alright, so we're loading up. As the drivers are just loading into their 18-minute qualifying session, we're at Australia, a newly changed track, should I say, in this F1 calendar, with some of the corners being taken out, like the chicane of turn 9 and 10, and also corners getting widened, and a corner like turn 11 that is now why can't I speak, which is now more of a 90-degree corner. So as the drivers are now loading in to qualifying, we can get underway with what will surely be an enthralling session for us today. There's 15 drivers. I think some people are joining late today, so here we are. We have our first driver coming out on track, and it is IXR Blue. So the AlphaTauri man leads us away around Australia. Hopefully he'll be the first one round for qualifying. And if not, Castro will be. So here we go. We have Blue, first one out and coming around the racetrack today. Look at him going through some of the corners on the outlet. So as I quickly get up the standings, and I'll run you dry race, dry quali. Thank you JH for that. And of course my trusty weatherman from previous times. You will get up the standings so I can run you through who is where in the championship. Of course, it's my first time this season. So we have Clunky Monkey leading the championship with a 14-point lead. Of course, Clunky Monkey not here today, so Chungus has a real good chance in second of taking that P1 place. We've got Fresh in P3, Thomas 4th, Kira in 5th, DK Perks in 6th, Drew in 7th, RWB in 8th, Jack Attack 9th, and Sniper Hunter in 10th in the standings. So as we have IXR Blue starting his first flying lap, going into turn 3, breaking down into 4th gear, and now flying through turn 3 and turn 4 through the fast right-hander of turn 5, which sort of counts as turn 6 actually, and now into turn 7, one downshift over the inside curve, all the way out to the outside curve. Now this is the new part of the circuit, where it's just one flying straight instead of the chicane, which really stops the flow of this circuit. So going into 9 and 10, nicely done, breaking down into 6. Over the curbs, very nicely done there. So, going into turn 11, braking at the 50-meter board, plonking that inside curve and running wide using all the track he possibly can. Blue is now going into the penultimate corner. Will he touch the inside curve? Yes, he will. Getting the apex just right, and now into probably one of the most hardest traction zones on this track. The final corner gets it nice. Now coming up to the line, what will this be for Blue? It's a 1:18.1, which starts off the session with a very respectable lap time there. We now have Castro, who is invalidated. So as RWB, goes up into P1, 17.8. Tommy Grill goes into P4. Hammy Best beats him. Only just behind IXR Blue is Hammy. By about 500 of a second. That's an Alpine going wide there. I don't know if that's to get out of the way. It's Matty. Yeah, he has invalidated his lap, so it surely must be out of the way of others. As AMS Jack on his WR debut goes provisional pole by about 13 milliseconds there. So, very, very decent stuff from the AlphaTauri man. Of course, hopefully will show us better racing as in previous years, as fresh as in P7 with an 18.7. Probably not his quickest time just yet. Castro now on a lap going into turn 11, taking a huge chunk of that inside curve and using all the track possible. And Hammy is best retired. And apparently it's a collision with... I'm not going to attempt to say that name. Let's call him Itz. Itz has had a collision with Hammy, and it seems that he's put Hammy in the wall. Let's go back to Petro 19-1 for the Mercedes. Obviously backed out with that lap. Matty now. No, I'm realised he was invalidated because he did let everyone else through. That's who can we find? That is on a quick lap. We have Drew just ahead of Exotic Claims. We'll just go on with Drew now. So going into the penultimate corner, breaking down to third gig, hitting the inside apex, but pulls into the pit lane. So let's go back to Exotic. Exotic now through the final corner. Nicely done through there. Gets it invalidated on the exit. Everyone stop validating, man. Chungus is invalidated. I think that's sort of it for drivers on the lap. No, Blue is on the lap. He's up by a 1/10.5 in the middle sector, it seems. So coming through the final corner, nicely done, using all the track he possibly can. So now coming up to the line, what will this be for Blue? It is provisional pole, a 1:17.7. There was a lot of time found in that final sector. A good 3 to 4 attempts there. And it puts him up into P1, and at the minute it's a provisional AlphaTauri 1-2. If there's any audio issues of the game, please let me know, because this game is very glitchy and I feel like there is some audio issues going on. Yeah, the game is very glitchy, and I can hear some audio issues. So, please just let me know if there is any audio issues with the stream, because I can turn down the game. Buggy in an hour. Okay, let me quickly. Just turn it down. Hopefully that has fixed it. So please just report back to me, please, guys. As Chungus is on a lap, I think. I have no clue. Yeah, much better. Okay, good. That is good to know. As no, Chungus is not on a lap. There's 6 Pompano. So Pompano starting his lap in the Aston Martin, now opening up the DRS. Now going down into turn 3, braking at the 100-meter board, getting the car rotated nicely through turn 4. Sort of a lift through this corner. It's not really a real braking zone. So now through turn 5, very nicely done through there. Now over the inside curve, using all the track on the outside as well. Try not to invalidate there, as it is quite easy to. Now keeping a tight line through the long right hander of 8, and this is a corner, but it's not counted as a corner on the track. It's 44.9 in the middle sector. The game says it is purple, but we know how glitchy it can be. So now flying up into turn 11. Nicely done, not using as much curb as others have, as AMS Jack goes quicker, or 17.6, nearly a tenth quicker than his teammate on his debut, doing a very, very good drive here. So, Pompano, can he do anything to disrupt Jack's lead? No, he cannot. It's a 17.4 from the Aston Martin man, and he puts himself in to P7. Oh, that's Chungus off. Chungus on a lap has spun off. The man in second place in the championship not doing well. As that was RWB? No, it was Kiri going up into P5. As AMS Thomas now goes up into P3 with a 17.847. That is a very respectable lap time from Williams, putting himself into the hunt for pole. Pole. As who else do we have coming up to the line? We have Fresh. Let's see how much he was up by. So let's see. No, I think he was down by about 3 seconds. Yeah, as he pulls into the pit lane. I think Pompano's on 2 consecutive runs here, so he's on to another lap. No, into the pit lane. I really need to start figuring out if people are on a lap or not. So they're not really turning off their ERS to help. Exotic Planes on the lap. He's gone a bit wide though at turn 11, but still can resolve a good lap time here, and that's someone round in the middle sector. And RWB goes up into P2 to 17.651. It's really getting close at the top here. But now Exotic Planes coming up to the line. What will this be for the Red Bull man? It's P8 with an 18.499, the same lap as Pompano. So these two inseparable at the minute. As Blue goes even quicker with a 17.3. A brilliant lap there from the AlphaTauri man. That is near enough. Tier 2 whole time, I think it was. It's a very good lap there from the AlphaTauri. So he is definitely one to look out for in this race session later on after these 6 minutes of qualifying. So who else is nearly coming across the line? I don't think RWB is. No, it doesn't seem so. Exotic Planes invalidate, 20's invalidated. Jack Attack's invalidated. We got Pazza on a lap. So Pazza now coming through turn 7 and 8. 8 is now sort of like a really long right-hander. Sort of has 2 apexes. So now, going into turn 9, a 45.5 in the middle sector. Not the best we've seen so far, even though the game's in purple. But still, of course, I think it's his first lap in the session, so obviously time to improve in the Haas. Now coming through turn 12. A bit wide, missing the apex. Let's see how he does turn 13, the penultimate corner. Nicely done through there. Now into the final corner. Nice on the traction, on the power. Opens up the DRS, coming up to the line. What would this be for Pazza? It is P12 with a 19.4, so obviously having a bit of teething troubles at this stage in the session with the Haas. Pompano on the lap. We saw him start his lap last time. And now is on another lap. Oh, he's nearly spun in these rounds. He's gone round off turn 2. The car's stuck. And then it didn't stick. It stuck and then the rear just went on him. He had a one-step of oversteer. Saved it, but then the car just went again. Did not enjoy it. So that is him now out of that run. If he doesn't have enough enough fuel in the car. With 4 minutes to go in the session, it'd be tough to get back round and go straight back out again in time. So Pompano is not having the best of times at the minute, trying to beat all the traffic out of the pit lane, but it has not worked. I missed this. Chungus, go! Chungus moves up to P2. The man second place in the championship moves up to P2 of a 17.392. That's a brilliant lap there from the Alfa Romeo. That puts him in the hunt for pole. If he can turn around in the pit lane in time. Oh, he's been spun though coming out of turn 11. I don't think he might just have enough time to come in, get turned around, put in some fresh tyres and come straight back out. It's all going to be done very smoothly. He can't afford his teammate. Oh, what teammate should I really say? He hasn't got a teammate, so that sort of saves him a tiny bit there. That we don't have to wait for his teammate exiting the pit lane. As most drivers now coming out for the final runs of the session. So, here we go. Who is going to be first across the line to start the lap? It looks like it's Exotic Plains. Oh, he's got a bit wide though. He's locked up the inside. Front there, so that might hurt his time in the overall long run of it. But he does have a McLaren right up his rear end. It's actually who is on the lap. It's at 45.2 middle sector. Let's have a look as he opens up the RS and comes to the line now. What will this be for the McLaren? It's P12 with an 18.9. As we now have Exotic Plains on his lap. I don't know if we got held up a bit there by Pompano exiting the pit lane. As I think Chungus has stayed in. Chungus not wanting to go out again. So obviously hasn't got enough time to come back round now. As now Exotic Plains is up by 1/10 of a second. This will keep him in P9 as it stands, as Chungus has retired in the pits. Exotic Plains still would stay P9 as it stands, but he's trying to use all the track as he can to gain as much time as possible. He's up by 0.3 of a second in the middle sector, so as long as he just keeps it clean now. He did have a bit of a scruffy turn 11 last lap, so now all he has to do is keep it clean in these next few corners, and he can maybe pop a surprise up for pole position. Here we go into the penultimate corner, missing the apex a tiny bit. That would lose him a bit of time, but very nicely done coming out of the final corner. So up to the line. What will this be for Exotic Plains? It's a 17.7, puts him up into P5. A beautiful lap there from the Red Bull, but just not enough for that almighty pole position. As we now have Drew starting his lap, as that was Jack Attack moving up into P7, and that was Tommy Real was spun round, and RWP has moved up into P2. Look how close it is at the top here. What is AMS Jack going to do? Only P4, 17.4 for the AlphaTauri, so it's not an AlphaTauri 1-2 today. We have AMS Thomas on the lap now. See what he can do as he comes to the line. So going through the final corner now. What will this be for the Williams Racing driver? The first guy to finish a lap. And across the eye, messed up his lap entirely, so he just sort of decided to crash across the line. Fresh coming in the pit lane. Pompano, what can he do? Can he put his Aston Martin further up the grid? As that's an Alpine moving that way, I think of Matty. But Pompano, can he throw a surprise? As IXR Blue goes even quicker with a 17.0. A beautiful lap from Blue. I really wish I spectated him now as Pompano goes up into P10 ahead of Fresh as Tommy Grill disqualified for blocking the pit lane. But that IXR Blue is on pole position, it seems. Whereas Kiri can do something about it, which he don't seem like he can. But we can only wait and see, because he could have had a really scruffy final sector on the last lap. But opens up the DRS. Will Blue stay on pole? He does. Kiri can only go up to P5 with a 17.763, only 2 milliseconds ahead of Exotic Plains. But IXR Blue is your pole sitter for today's race. Absolutely blowing the field away with a 17.0, 3 tenths ahead of the rest. An absolutely amazing lap there from the AlphaTauri man. He was dominant the whole session. He led near enough all the way, and it turns out to be sort of the right choice to... I don't know what I'm saying now. It seems to be that he is the man to beat today in the race. But they say there can be quality merchants, there can be race merchants, but there's only one way to find out, and that is by getting this race underway in a second, as it's has got a 5-place grid penalty, so that will put him down into P17, which will put him to last, actually, in a matter of fact. So that is him dropping to the back. So Tommy Grill, even though getting disqualified, does gain a place. So your grid for today's race is Blue in P1 with an absolutely brilliant lap, 3 tenths ahead of RWB in second. Third is Chungus Goat. Fourth is AMS Jack. 5 is Kiri. 6 is Exotic Plains. 7th is Thomas. 8th is Jack Attack. 9th is Hammy is best. And 10th is 6 Pompano. 11th Fresh. And I'll give you the rest after, well, once we get into the race. Yeah, I don't know how he's done that either, JH. A brilliant lap from the your teammate. Watch me fall down the order. I mean, you never know. I mean, this track, you need a lot of straight line speed, as I found out yesterday. It is all about straight line speed. As here we are loading in to the race. There will be no formation lap due to the fact of oh, and someone's readied up instantly. There's no formation lap due to a glitch with the tyre temps. As we have 10 seconds left until the race is underway. So only a short break, so no one can really go to the toilet or anything during this break. As here we go, we have 5 red lights. And it's go, we are underway in Australia. Blue seems to get a very good start off the line compared to RWB, who's getting swarmed by Chungus Goat and Kiri, as now going in. Oh, as Chungus Goat is actually gone wide. He's actually managed to keep it safe though, as that's a Haas round in the background. It is Jack Attack who has gone round on the exit of turn 1 as it's 3 wide into turn 3. 3 into 3 does not go, it seems, as Chungus Goat wins out on that, as Jack nearly spins in the background, which then can allow Kiri to pressure him. Sorry guys, that really caught me off guard with how quickly we were going from the break. So, as I get everything back up right now. There we go. As Fresh is trying to pass Exotic Plains round the outside. What can happen here? Can he pull it off? He has to be very, very tight on the apex of the next corner. They make contact. Fresh nearly goes into the wall, and that's a spin in the background for Cash. Cash has spun, but we'll keep on board with these two, as Fresh has actually done both Thomas and Exotic Plains down the next straight. A very opportunistic move, and oh, Pazza and Pompano have made a mistake. Have come together, sorry. As Thomas gets back past Fresh, who's going into the pit lane for what seems to be some front wing damage. Blue leads the first lap by 1.1 seconds. As he has pulled away from RWB. A brilliant start there from the AlphaTauri man, as there is now sort of a massive spread between some of the drivers in this field. As Hammy, will he try a move on Thomas? And no, he will not. But Thomas and Tommy are very close to the track, so that could be a bit of a tongue twister if they start battling on track. So here we go into turn 7. All the drivers spreading out a tiny bit more than they have been the whole session. They're spread out a lot more than they were in qualifying, should I really say. As this train now really starts from Exotic Plains in P6 and all the way down below that as Cash spins again in the Mercedes. He has spun round, and that surely, unless it's a safety car, puts him out of contention for the race. As the Exotic Plains is holding up a huge train behind him. And that's Thomas round, and he's crashed. Oh, is it commentator's curse? Will this bring out a safety car? And it has. Oh, that's what Cash needed. But Thomas spinning, coming out of turn 12, and it causes a safety car by a huge crash on the exit there. He's left the session out of rage, but he just got a bit too wide, I think. Got loose on the exit, and that put his car around. So Fresh can now box for some hards and maybe take those to the end of the race. It would be a very, very hard ask to take them to the end of the session. But now that really, really brings everyone back together. The gaps are smaller. Blue will not be liking this safety car as it now demolishes his lead. Yeah, so the safety car is now out and is gonna back all these guys together. We should be getting underway within a lap or so, so it won't be too long. And we'll see what will happen after this. As we now file through behind the safety car, I shall quickly give you, to all the football fans out there, a football rundown of the results in the Premier League so far. It's Leicester City versus Man United, and Man United are 1-0 up against Leicester, a Jadon Sancho goal. And Leicester stay bottom of the league at the minute. With hardly any goals. My Discord's having a bit of a spaz attack, so we can see if anyone's put anything in the chat about anything. No. So, Thomas making that mistake has brought everyone together. It's going to be very exciting to see when Blue will go, when the safety car does come in. So let's see what is going to happen now. Because there is a bit of an audio glitch on my end, but luckily for you guys, I turned down the audio so you can hear me a lot more. So Jack saying that well, JH should I say, Geary has either no downforce or using all his ERS. It's probably a combination of both. You could save a lot of ERS around here. While You can use a lot of DRS while saving it at the same time, really. It just comes back up. So, this should be the end of the safety car, as Tommy Rill did come in for a fresh set of hards. So, when will Blue go on this safety car restart? No, it's Tommy doing what I think he's doing. He's going slow on purpose. Don't do this, Tommy. Catch up to the back of the safety car. Oh, come on, Tommy. This isn't funny. We want to get racing. I'm very annoyed at this. A safety car actually is coming in at the end of this lap. It's a very, very late call. As now we'll go up to Blue and see when he goes. So, will he go? He's gone now, and Jack's just not moved at all. As actually Blue's not gone. He's gone now. He's caught RWB napping with no challenge into turn 1 from the McLaren. So Blue keeps the lead at the minute, as Chungus is actually closer to RW than RW is to Blue. So there could be a move there as XPG Drew gets past Hammy is best. So Drew getting past Hammy, that is a very important move for him, as Itz and Jack Attack are now battling for P9 for the, of course, 2 points so far in this race, but it can become more depending on what happens throughout this race. As Chungus gets overtaken by Jack, so Chungus obviously using a lot of downforce, as he is being swallowed up on the straight. What about Itz versus Jack? Jack goes to the outside line, he just can't pull it off. Too far behind, it seems, as Blue has already gained that 1 second advantage to RW ahead, but he does get it closed in on into the braking zone. It's Itz versus Jack Attack into turn 11. Jack Attack uses all of the curb and gets the move done down the inside there. A nice move to pull off. As we see Fresh going down the inside of Cashflow, they've made contact. Cashflow onto the grass, manages to keep the car in a straight line, but goes all the way down to last as his teammate overtakes him, who's just spun out, and he's damaged his front wing. Oh, absolutely hectic there at the back, as Tommy Rill probably kicking himself after he took so long to catch up to the safety car for nothing. Jack is trying to catch up to RW, who is slowly creeping away from him, as Kiri has dropped back behind Chungus. So obviously either a mistake or a move there, as Itz has been spun round. Itz has spun around at turn number 5. He's kept all these front wings, it seems, so he's kept it in a straight line, which is all good, as Chungus gets past Jack. So Jack being overtaken here. So it's just about slipstream, really, I think, about if you can make your moves or not. But here comes Kiri against here comes Exotic Planes against Kiri. Doesn't amount to anything here. When will someone pull the trigger as well and box? It won't be to about lap 12 for the hards, but we will see. Pompano gets past Jack, so the Aston Martin moves up to P9. A nice little position gain for the Aston there, as that's a yellow flag in sector 3, and that's Cashro. Cashro doing what his teammate did a lap ago and spinning out on the at the exit of the final corner, as of course Tommy has to come in for his ring damage. Will Jack be able to catch up to Chungus, as DRS is enabled for this lap, as it's been 2 laps after the safety car has come in? anyone close enough to make those moves. Exotic Plains might be Sakiri in front, but it all depends on if he can get a good run out of these next few corners. Matty is spun round, Matty is round, and that's allowed Fresh, and it's passed. Has he got damage? Yes, he does. He has a front right end plate has come off his car. So here comes all the drivers filing down into turn 11. As I say, is anyone close enough to really go for a move? Fresh might be, who's down in P12. Batten's P11, just too far back though. Can't do anything as it stands. As Castro, and it's his spun around again. Out of the chicane. He's managed to keep his front wing again somehow, which he's very lucky for. And Blue, he's out in front, absolutely dominating. A 1.8 second gap to the McLaren of RW behind, who is now being put under pressure by, oh, excuse me, Chungus. As Fresh gets past Hazza. So that move is all done by the Ferrari man. Excuse me. As Chungus now is closing in on the back of RW, and Exotic Plains is closing on the back of Kiri, but Kiri is so fast in that straight line that Exotic Plains can sort of just not really do anything. All these drivers within the DRS just a bit too far behind each other to make the move, unless you see Chungus, who is now 3 tenths behind his rival in front, the McLaren. So Chungus, will he be able to make the move going down into turn 11 on RW? No, just a bit too far back. Getting a bit closer though. He's edging ever closer each lap to making the move and trying to hunt down Blue in front. The one thing Exotic Plains does not want is Kiri getting inside Jack's DRS, which it seems he could do in a matter of time. So Exotic needs to really use the DRS he has been given from Kiri up in front. He has Drew behind him, who might put him under a bit of pressure, and Hammy just a tiny bit further back, who is sort of just staying within the DRS, and Jack has spun round. Jack is round on the exit of turn 2. I think he's managed to keep his front wing intact, but that is sort of what Exotic wanted as he gains a place, and that's Chungus getting a 3-second time penalty. That could be big coming near the end of the race, but that is sort of what Exotic wanted, as I was saying. As he didn't want Kira to get that DRS, and he hasn't got it. As that's Drew retiring from the race, he's spun on the exit of turn 8. It could be another safety car, and it is. So both Williams I want to say Drew's in a Williams, he is right. So both Williams drivers causing a safety car here within a matter of laps of each other. There is another safety car in this race, and now we are down to 14 runners in this Grand Prix. That sort of gives Jack a lifeline, you know. You can now box for some fresh, hard, compound tyres and really save his race. Brought him right up to the back of that train again as Blue comes in, RW comes in, Chungus comes in. Does Kiri come in? No, he doesn't. Exotic Plains does. Hammy doesn't. Pompano does box. But does Jack attack? Yes, he does. Fresh stays out. Hazard should really stay out. No, he boxes. He's going for the mediums. Jack, of course, boxes. Castro will box, and so will Matthew. No, Castro doesn't box. So I've been wrong again. As look, Blue now is coming out in P4 behind Fresh, Hammy, and Kiri. They can throw a spanner in the works for the AlphaTauri man. Yeah, they can really throw a spanner in the works. Maybe let Chungus get the overtake done. And Chungus, did he make the move on RW, or did he just jump him in the pit lane? I think he's jumped him in the pit lane. I don't remember him pulling off the move. Unless he made... No, see, the safety car come out before they were even in that overtaking zone. So we are now back on the safety car. We should be a few laps again, nothing too long. as the drivers are all filing through the sections of the track. And getting ready, warming up the tyres for the end. At the end? Yeah, the end of the safety car, and when they will be able to go again. Here we go. So as Castro files up to the back of the safety car, we should go at the end of this lap. Makes everything better for us. As Jack's saying, it didn't go well for it. No, but you can still recover for your mistakes. Because if you never give up, you can maybe even still win this race. Because carnage could happen in front. Not always. It is a league race, and WR at the end of the day, they usually do throw up a bit of carnage. Safety car is in at the end of this lap. As Jack gets 5 seconds for colliding, for Pazza colliding. No, he's colliding with Pazza. So that is not really what he wants. That might have given him front wing damage. So if we quickly look on the broadcast, we'll wait for Bluey to go. It doesn't seem that it's giving him damage. But now we wait for Kiri to go, sorry, not Bluey. So, Kiri, when will he leave the drivers behind? When will he go? As it seems like RWB's fallen, tried overtaking some people and fell back as Kiri's gone now. And he's caught Hammy napping. Hammy nearly out of the second already. So as we're underway here in the I can't speak English. As we're back underway down under, as Matty has spun off. Oh, and Castro they've both spun off the exit of turn 14. As now Hammy has spun round. Hammy spun off the exit of turn 2. I saw drivers passing someone like mad, and he's ahead as Jack has spun out of the exit of turn 2 as well. It is not going well for either of those drivers. Hammy getting past by Jack Attack. I think he has a bit of front wing damage. I don't think so, but there's contact maybe between him and Pazza. Pazza has to go all the way out wide, and Hammy stays ahead just because of that. They now all file their way through turn 8 once more on lap 13 of 29. Kiri has got a good 1.5 second lead ahead of Blue. As RWB is past Chungus somewhere on the track, who is now 5 tenths behind him. So that has, these two are going to kick off again, as Exotic Plains and Pompano are now hunting down the man on the old hards, Fresh in the Ferrari. Both Ferraris on the alternate strategy, sticking it out longer as well, because they did start on those hard compound tyres. No, Fresh actually boxed, I think, for hard compound tyres. So Fresh now firing through the final corner. This could be where Exotic Plains overtakes the Ferrari, the Red Bull v Ferrari. Where have we seen this before around Australia? But cannot pull anything off so far. Maybe going up into turn 3. He's got a good exit compared to Fresh. He's now right at the back of this Ferrari, going round the outside into turn 3. But Fresh defending well, using everything he's got to try to keep that Ferrari ahead, and he has so far. As Blue is now 5 tenths behind Kiri, so Kiri has obviously made a mistake. Jack saying this can't have gone any worse. No, it couldn't. Actually, yes, it could. You could have DNF'd. There's Exotic Plains now trying to go round the outside or down the inside into turn 9, maybe. He's right at the back of Fresh. So Fresh having to defend for his life to try and keep this position. As Exotic Plains gets a brilliant run coming out of the 9-10 chicane. Can he go for the move? He's using the ERS. He's got to go to the outside, and that's a thing. There's a crash for it behind as Exotic Plains bumps into Fresh, so he's literally pushing him through the corner. Still just can't pull anything off at the minute as Blue is right at the back of the other Ferrari. Kiri. So, Kiri, look how fast he is in a straight line. He's absolutely rapid. He's so fast in a straight line. Definitely using very, very limited downforce to try and keep ahead here. And is trying to use that as a terrific advantage on the straights, but sort of not working. This Exotic can't pull off anything, but Jack is around the outside of Pompano. Can't get the move done around the outside. It's 2 failed attempts we've seen in a row around the outside of turn 3 so far in this race. As you can see, a massive gap between 4th and 5th of 4 seconds. As that is a spin in the background, that's for Matty, who has spun round at turn 5 again. Does that give him front wing damage? No, but Jack Attack has got a hammy. So Hammy's made a mistake, and now his teammate's going to try and get him. Jack making a mistake. Pazza maybe getting by. Oh, he put him in the wall. Jack has put his own teammate in the wall. Rule number 1 in racing, don't put your teammate in the wall or collide with your teammate. As Exotic trying to go around the outside of Fresh, pushing him through the corner once again. And cannot pull the move off. Can Blue get Kiri this time with the help of the trusty friend, Mr. DRS. The drag reduction system is open as Chungus. As RWB spun. RWB has spun round and losing positions fast. He's now behind a lot of drivers. But now Exotic Plains trying to get Fresh into turn 1. Cannot get it done. Can he try and get a switchback through turn 2 and use that momentum down into turn 3? As Fresh, oh, there's contact between the two. Oh, and Fresh has put Exotic into the wall. So Exotic not, Fresh obviously not happy with Fresh's drive. Oh, there's a huge crash. Jack and Hammy involved. That is all kicked off from Fresh. Getting a bit of a slide on. Coming into Exotic, and then taking Exotic into the wall, and Exotic having to go slow. That really did just kick off there. Has just been very fast. They're in a very short period of time. So Blue, can he at least try and make a move now into turn? Sorry to interrupt myself. RWB passing Paz down the inside from turn 1 and round the outside into turn 10. Is now going on the attack on Exotic into turn 11 and has pulled off the move. RWB from that mistake has absolutely turned into a different beast, making so many moves now, as he would think he was actually behind Jack Attack, but he of course crashed with Exotic and gained the places. But Exotic into the pit lane now with the damage he occurred from being put into the wall. But Blue cannot catch up enough and make that overtake on Kiri. He needs to do it soon, or Chungus could have an opportunity at him. As Fresh and Pompano going toe to toe, and Pompano nearly spins coming out of turn 3. Kiri gets 3 seconds. That could be big coming near the end of this race. Now we watch Pompano behind Fresh. Excuse me. As we move back up to the battling trio of Blue, Chungus and Kiri. Blue using a huge amount of curb there, cutting the track there. So now he's going to go to the outside of Kiri. Can he pull off the move with the DRS? He can. Kiri gets overtaken by Blue, and now that allows Chungus on him, who's hit into the back of Kiri. So Chungus hitting into Kiri, and Blue goes wide into the penultimate corner. Kiri couldn't make the move back on him, as of course Kiri does a superb straight line speed. So Kiri now pushing into turn 1. Can he put off the move? No, and Chungus is right behind the pair. This is where Kiri really needs to use the straight line speed that he has. Going up into turn 3. He just can't put off the move, and Pompano and Fresh still going back at it. It's RWB now, trying to capitalise on Pompano's failed overtake. It's from attack to defend for Pompano. might just be able to hold out on this one. No, he does not. Round the outside. The overtake has been done by RWB down the inside. It's very hard defending the outside line there, and that has been proven as Pompano gets a 3-second time penalty, as everyone's racking up the penalties now. As here comes Chungus round the outside of Kiri into turn 9, on the inside into turn 10. A beautiful move there by the Alfa Romeo, and now needs to try and focus on the Alpha Tauri of Blue up in front. But look at the ERS difference. 11% for Chungus and 27 for Blue. The Blue with the more ERS. That could be all important. It's Fresh round the it's RWB round the outside of Fresh. That is a brilliant move there from the McLaren, keeping that Ferrari to the inside and making sure the move was his. As Chungus trying to get within that second as Fresh boxes for some fresh medium tyres. As we have all these drivers now filing down the main straight, as Chungus is within DRS of Blue ahead, but will he be able to keep it there for the next few corners? It doesn't seem like he can, unless he can get an almighty run down the long straight into turn 9. It doesn't seem that he can. Now Jack might be under attack from his teammate. I don't know if he gave him any damage, but we can only find out one way or another. As Hazza really is trying to find the move here, as it did make a mistake there. I did see it in the background. He got a little bit of a swivel on coming out of turn 5, but manages to keep it in a straight line, but gets overtaken by Hammy. As Castro gets 3 seconds in P10. He's under threat from Fresh, actually. He's on fresh medium tyres. But that leading trio is now sort of spread out a bit, as it's now 1.3 between the drivers. Now into the pits comes Kiri. As Pazza actually goes goes a bit wide through turn 13. Well, will Kiri come out of the pit lane? It seems he will be behind it. And he is just behind the McLaren. Still some cold tyres though, so he needs to warm them up. That is not the glitch in the game, because that is actually how real life drivers have to do it now. And warm up their tyres due to the limited amount of temperature you can get from the tyre blankets. So now through turn 8. Can Jack... Oh, as I was about to say, can Jack catch up to Pompano? He's made a mistake, slid into the wall, and somehow has survived and not crashed out of the race. That was a huge moment there for Jack. Probably giving him a front wing damage if we have a look here. No, it doesn't seem so, but he might have the non-visual damage. But that was a huge slide, and he is a very, very lucky McCoy to stay alive from that one. But look at the gap the top two have. 10 seconds to RWB behind. Now it's everyone sort of is out of DRS of each other. It's going to be not so interesting to commentate over at the minute. The closest battle we have is Kiri versus it's 6/10 of a second. As here we go, around the outside, down the straight, a nice simple DRS move for the Ferrari. And he stays ahead of the McLaren, who goes wide and bumping over the grass. Nearly spins on the exit for good measure as well. But manages to keep that McLaren on the straight line. We have had many a driver, get very lucky of what has happened with the spins, like crashes into the wall, and going off the track. Blue is sort of cruising out in front. Chungus is 3 seconds behind him, obviously. As Blue actually gets 3 seconds, that could be big. That could be really big in this race. Chungus actually only needs the 18 points to take the lead of the championship. So he's sort of just chilling here. Of course, we've got Silverstone next week. Not next week, the week after. Next week is a break week. So No need to practice, everyone. No need to be in a rush, because next week is break week. To sort out all the rosters and everything, so every tier has a good amount of drivers racing. As Jack now attacking his teammate for the P5 spot. Going into turn 1. Will he go for it? Yes, he is. But will his teammate turn in on him? Repay the favour of what Jack did to him earlier and put him in the wall. Fresh gets past it because it goes into the pit lane. As the main battle on track here is really between Jack and Pazza. Oh, but Jack gets 3 seconds. That taking too much of the inside curve gave him that warning. And that is an instant 3 second time penalty. Sector 3, there is a spin for Matty, but back up to Jack quickly. He's still battling with his teammate as he gets ahead going into turn 9. But will Pazza be able to come back with the DRS down the next straight? It doesn't seem so. No, he cannot. He's just a tiny bit too far back from making that move. But there's a man on the charge behind him. And his name is Kiri. In the Ferrari. Trying to hunt down the pair ahead. It's a little bit of a battle as Jack gets a 3 second time penalty to add to his woes. Of course, not having the best of luck so far. Kiri really catching up to the back of Pazza. In extreme ways. What the hell is going on here? There's a yellow flag in sector 2 for Matty getting out of the way of the 2 leaders. But Pazza with DRS has just been overtaken by Kiri with no DRS. The Kiri straight line speed is amazing. It's such a shame he was on the ultimate strategy. He would have put a brilliant fight up for the lead of this race. So here he comes now. Can he get past Jack? Will Jack do what he did to his teammate? Put him in the wall. They make contact. As Jack skips across the curb. That allows Kiri to now go down these inside, and he gets through. Will he be able to keep the lead? P5 though, yes he will. Matty gets another penalty. We'll have a look at penalties now. If I can find the right setting. That's gap, that's why it's wrong. As Pazza comes into the pit lane, yellow flag in sector 3 for It's making a mistake, spinning round. Does he finally have front wing damage? No! This man is unstoppable. So, Blue and Chungus have 3 seconds each. RW has none. Pompano, Kiri and Jack all have 3. Fresh has none. Hammy has 9. Pazza has 5. He's just been taken off due to him pitting. Cashro has 6. It's has 3. Exotic has none. Jack has 3. And Matty has 11 as Cashro retires in the pit lane. And look, It's and Pazza comes out straight into It's path. There's nothing Pazza could have really done there to get out of the way. He's just come out the pit lane. As Hammy is now up to 12 seconds. As Chungus is now back within the DRS of Blue. Oh, he's just lost it. I think he just lost that. We'll quickly go on board with him anyway. Yeah, he did just lose it, but that is getting tired. But we'll keep on board for this battle for P10 for now. But once they get a tiny bit closer, Chungus and Blue, we will go back to the battle for the lead on lap 25 or 29 they are on. As RWB comes into the pit lane. Why is that? He's losing valuable points of coming into the pits. As here comes It's down the inside of Pazza. Can he make the move? No, but he's all over the rear end of that Haas driver. RWB's box for softs, but he's in a comfortable P4. So, but by comfortable, I mean comfortable, and that's a spin, I think. Oh, it's for Matty, so unfortunately, it's not really too important for me. As Pazza trying to catch up to It's, but Chungus, can he Chungus has finally got within the DRS of Blue. That could be big for these final few laps of the Grand Prix. Can Chungus just stay within the DRS? Yes, he can, I think. Going through turns 13 and now turn 14. He is within the DRS. That's 2 DRS zones to his disposal to catch up even more. So he should really, definitely be more than comfortable in the DRS. But no, he's just constantly falling out of it in the corners. He's got back into his exotic planes, gets his first penalty of the races. It's now cut to Fresh versus Hammy as the top two. Can't seem to stay within the DRS of each other. Oh, and Hammy's round on the exit of the final corner. He spun round, that's like the RWB through. So that's bad news for the McLaren driver. Not McLaren, Alpine driver. I just forgot who I was talking about then. As Chungus is really within DRS now, 0.6 of a second between the two. But he's made a mistake going through the corner. Now he's back up to 9 tenths, 8 tenths into the braking zone now. Matty is retired in the pit lane. So he can stop getting the yellow flags for these incidents. This is now a second out, is Chungus. Come on, mate. Get within that DRS because we want to see a battle as everyone's really spread out here. I know you just want to keep this preserve this for the championship. But please, just catch up to the man. There is no battle to talk about at the minute. So, actually, Hammy is best to spun again. This time he surely has to get damage. I don't know. Nothing's come off the front wing. But I think he has. Matty has left the session. I respect Jack for still going. Even though he's nearly a lap down. Chungus is back within DRS of Blue. Can he actually stay within it this time? Hammy is best 5-second penalty speed in the pit lane and DNFs. So we're down to 11 runners in this Grand Prix. And Chungus just can't stay within the DRS. Blue just conserves his energy, man. He just conserve the 18% he has. Because Chungus just can't get near him. RWD now is right on the back of, Fresh. Third P6. The only 2 drivers with no penalties this race. Can they do anything? As Hammy's best has left the session. So, what will RBW do? Will he go for the move in? No, he will not. Who's going to set Fresh up? Going down the main straight, maybe. So now, opening up the DRS. Now flies down this main straight. Fresh just having enough momentum to keep ahead. But RWB will not give up. He's going to maybe try the overtake. Into turn 3, Fresh again. Using overtake to try to keep the position as he's... Oh, there's contact! Fresh! Did he go in the wall? Did Fresh go in the wall and get damaged there? I don't think he did. So RWB catches the diffuser of Fresh and sends him into a sort of like tail spin, like a half spin sort of thing. A man who's gone really under the radar, 6 Pompano. He's up into P3 with Kiri on his tail. Well, let's quickly check the penalties. They're both on 3 seconds, so Pompano is battling for position as they go down to the final lap as Chungus is within DRS, but he's just losing out. So I don't think he's going to do anything at any time soon. As here comes RWB round the outside of Fresh. Oh, there's contact! And this time it's a worse situation of what happened a few laps ago with them overtake RWB did on Fresh. He's actually spun round Fresh this time. But here we go. The battle for the final podium spot. The closest battle on track we have on this final lap. Kiri versus Pompano. Kiri on the fresher mediums compared to Pompano's 18 lap old hards. So what will happen as we're now going through turn 5? Pompano just about keeping ahead by a tenth of a second. So now going into turn 7 and 8. Oh, Kiri gets a big slide on through that corner, but he has immense straight line speed. Can he catch up to the Aston Martin driver and make the overtake work? Pompano using his overtake low. They're both derating. They've both got less than 10% left in their car. Who will get it? As here we have Kiri with the DRS. Pompano will have to defend the inside, and he does, as he forces Kiri the long way round. And he stays ahead as Kiri's nearly round. So Pompano surely has kept the position here. As IXR Blue wins the Australian Grand Prix 8 tenths ahead of Chungus Goat. So who will get P3? It seems to be Pompano, and it will be Pompano, who's gone really under the radar this race and comes across the line in P3. Pompano third, Kiri in fourth, with Jack Attack coming in P5 ahead of RWB, who boxed for some reason when he had a certain 4th place finish. He sort of ruined his own race there, as Fresh now coming across 7th will feel a bit gutted with what happened on lap 28 with him and RWB, but is in P7. Pazza comes across the line in P8. P9 will go to its 10th. Oh, or will it? Will Exotic try and get him on the line? 400ths of a second between the two, and it just about claims P9 ahead of Exotic, as Jack, who has kept going, I fully respect this, comes across the line in P11 to be the last finisher of this Grand Prix. He kept going as Jack, even though he weren't going to score any points, but data collecting. As Pompano gets driver of the day, and I have to say, it's between him and Blue. I would have to go Blue because he won the race, but Pompano, well deserved for the in-game driver of the day. He went under the radar, slowly climbed up the order, and finished in P3. So that is it. That is your Australian Grand Prix. Blue is your winner. A brilliant drive from the AlphaTauri man. Just never crumbled under pressure. And just stayed out in front. Near enough the whole race, except from when the hard runners stayed out under the safety car. Beautiful. Beautiful race win there from Blue. Apparently Chungus got 3 warnings from 1 extend, so that might make Blue's win a bit invalid here, but we never know. So Blues wins your Grand Prix. Your order for today's race is Blue from Chungus Goat in 2nd, Pompano P3, Kiri in P4, Jack Attack 5th, RWB in 6th and he's in a bit of controversy, it seems, in the chat. Fresh in 7th, Pazza 8th, It's in 9th, Exotic 10th, 11th is Jack, 12th is Hammy, 13th Matty, 14th Cashrow, 15th Drew. Of course, these are your non-finishers from Matty, Hammy downwards. 16th Tommy, and the man who caused the first safety car, Thomas, rounds out your drivers, and it finishes in P17. So, what an amazing race that was. Blue really didn't crumble under pressure. He just kept the same, drove absolutely amazingly. And there is some questionable driving apparently in some of them by some driver. I will not say who. So those will go down to inquiries. Hopefully Smithy and Lando will be back next week for Tier 10 as I think Smithy had a few technical errors which made him not able to stream this week. But 2 weeks time, he'll be at Silverstone for tier 10. Also, check out all the other tiers as well, obviously, as they also deserve the same amount of love you give this tier. But also check out tier 1 on Monday for Xbox, tier 2, tier 4, and some of the other tiers on a Tuesday, and then tier 2 and tier 3, sorry, on the Tuesday, tier 4, tier 5, and tier 6 on the Wednesday, I think, and then 10, 11, 12, and also 8 and 9 are one day. I don't know what they are. So also check out those tiers if you want to see some more amazing races. Of course, on the YouTube, the WOR YouTube, there will be the races already put up from the streams on Twitch and also the streams on YouTube, so you can check those out and you can see more fantastic racing even from this tier and from all the other tiers across the WOR globe, really, as I like to call it. So that's been me, Steve F1, well, FGE Steve F1, should I say. And that is the end of your Australian Grand Prix. Congratulations to Blue for winning the Grand Prix. So this is me over and done with. And hopefully Smithy and Lando will be back next week. Thank you for watching this amazing race. And bye-bye.